With 17 games played across the Premier League, eyes have begun to see the reality that Arteta could win Arsenal their first Premier League title in over 19 years. With Arsenal currently sitting at the top of a 5 points difference to Pep's Manchester City, who sits in second place, Arsenal fans have begun to have some hope that they could see their team come May with the Premier League trophy. Pundits have begun to deliberate. Can Arteta do it? Is he the man to take Arsenal back to the top? Can he overcome his former boss's team? So many questions surrounding this Arteta's side. But we all know this kind of question comes because of the positive vibes coming from the Arsenal camp. So what changed in this Arsenal team? How strong are they compared to the other Big Six? Can Arteta go all the way? Let's find out. Looking at the last 2 seasons, everyone knows that Arteta guided Arsenal to an 8th place finish back-to-back. But now they are currently occupying the first position. So what changed? First of all, the summer signings. Kudos to Edu and Arteta because they made incredible signings that elevated the team. The acquisition of Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko from Manchester City to the team was a massive boost to their current title charge. They have brought their winning mentality from Manchester City to Arsenal. Also, the addition of Fabio Vieira for £34 million from Porto was a massive boost, even though he hasn't started many games. He was brought in as the competition for current captain Martin Odegaard, and since the beginning of the season, Odegaard has stepped up in his performances. The Norwegian is currently the club's highest goal scorer. The summer signings have certainly been a plus to the team. Furthermore, the return of William Saliba, the French international, was on loan at the French club Marseille last season. He excelled there and won the Young Player of the Year in Ligue 1. Since his Premier League debut back in August, he has been a rock in that defense line. He has formed a formidable defense alongside Gabriel. They have conceded the least goals in the Premier League this season after Newcastle and have only lost 1 game all through. Also, the resurgence of Granit Xhaka. The Swiss midfielder is one of the key figures in Arteta's team. He may not be the most technically gifted midfielder, but he sure has an eye for goals and passes. He currently has 3 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League. His role has also changed in the team. He doesn't just sit back as he does before, but he now bursts forward, looking to add to the goals of the team. His work rate has been phenomenal. He also controls the midfield. His partnership with Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard has to be top 3 in the Premier League this season. He balances the team in defense and attack. Finally, Arteta's new 4-3-3 tactics. Arteta's pattern of play has similarities with Pep's Manchester City. His fullback doesn't just mainly stay at wings. His left back plays an introverted role. Zinchenko drifts to the middle anytime Arsenal is in possession and is attacking. Also, Arsenal press from the front from Gabriel Jesus to Ramsdale. No player walks around the pitch when the opposition is trying to score. Now they have a striker who can press from the front in Jesus. As we all know, that they lacked this last season. How strong is Arsenal compared to the other Big Six? The fact is, Arsenal is not even the strongest team in Premier League, even though they currently occupy the first spot. Manchester City and Liverpool have a better attacking line than Arsenal, but we could say Arsenal, Manchester United, and Spurs are more or less the same at the front. Chelsea is currently behind Arsenal in this aspect. For the midfield position, Manchester City is the only team that has a better midfield than Arsenal. Manchester United's midfield is on par with Arsenal's, while the rest are below them in the midfield department. For the defense line, all 6 are almost equal. There can't be much difference when we compare their defenders player by player. One may be better than the other in one aspect, but less than him in the other. When it comes to the bench, Arsenal and Spurs have the worst bench when compared to the rest. This was evident in the match against Newcastle. Arteta couldn't even make a substitution because he didn't feel he had a player on the bench that could change the game, even though they were dominating. If we want to compare their coaches, Mikel is only better than or on par with Potter. He can't even lace the boot of Pep, Klopp, or Conte when it comes to managerial experience and trophies won. But the Spaniard seems to be outsmarting them all this season. Can Arteta go all the way? The simple answer is yes, Arteta can certainly do it. He can take Arsenal to the promised land this season, but there are only 2 factors that can hinder him this season: squad depth and injuries. The reason why I said there are only 2 is that the young team already suffered from inexperience last season when they missed out on the top 4 in the closing stage of the season. Inexperience cannot be a factor this season. The reason is that the inexperience of last season has not shown in any other matches this season, even though they are, on average, on the young side in the Premier League this season. As I said earlier, Arsenal's bench lacks quality. If Arteta wants to go all the way to winning that trophy, they have to add at least 2 major signings to the squad. Not squad players, but players who can give their first team a run for their money. Finally, injuries to key players would put a dent in Arsenal's title chase this season. Arsenal's only loss in the Premier League came against Manchester United, and everyone knew Arsenal had a key player out for that match, Thomas Partey. Currently, Arsenal has Gabriel Jesus out, which is a scare for them. Arsenal can't afford to lose any other players to injury this season because the Premier League just got tougher. Arsenal's title charge just became more interesting. Do you think Arsenal can finally end their 19 years without a league title drought this season? Will Arteta be the man to do it for them? Let me know in the comments section. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It goes a long way in pushing the video up the algorithm and putting a smile on our faces.